Hello, Gulfport. Mayor Sam Henderson here with you. I wanted to answer a Gabber question this week and additionally provide some other information for you. So our question we received this week is, I need help understanding what is required for commercial property if deemed substantially damaged. Is there a checklist of requirements for commercial properties to be dry flood proofed to 1 foot above base flood elevation versus raising the building? And the answer to that question is yes. We will include that link in this video. There's a checklist of requirements for commercial properties to be dry flood proofed 1 foot above base flood versus raising the building. This technical bulletin explains and provides guidance on the National Flood Insurance Program floodplain management requirements for the design and the certification of that dry flood proofing. You'll find this at the FEMA.gov website. Search for Technical Bulletin number 3, issued in January of 2021, and additionally we will be providing that link here. I'd also like to address some other issues that we've been having as we move through this, and believe me, there have been plenty. We understand the difficulties that people are going through to the extent that we can, having not just personally experienced that ourselves. Permits remain free through March of 2025. Wanted to additionally let you know that the appeals process for initial determinations of appraisals on the 50/50 rule, that appeal process is a 29-page document, and it is a bit onerous, but it is your path toward getting a second appraisal and trying to get that number to where you believe it should be. So if you come very close on that initial appraisal and you're over that 50/50 line, you can get a reappraisal independently that could potentially bring you in under. But you are going to need to provide some pretty in-depth information as you go about submitting this information. So the substantial damage letters issued by the city, again, are preliminary estimates. The final determinations are made during the permitting process, and required photographic documentation for these permits includes photos of every room inside the property, photos of all 4 external walls of the property, and a street view photo of the roof to be included. Even if you're not claiming roof damage, these are things that need to be a part of that package. And I also wanted to let you know there's been a great deal of confusion. We've had a lot of these assessments that come through from our the group Tidal Basin, that is the one that we've been provided for additional inspectors. There's something folks need to understand about this. The city is the administrator of everything that's coming through us. So if it's coming from FEMA, if it's coming from the National Flood Insurance Program, these assessments done by those inspectors are coming to you. Those letters are coming on Gulfport letterhead because we are the administrator, even though these are the folks that are external to us, working for us, providing the data that we're basing these on. So if there's something coming through incorrect, for example, if you get a letter saying that your home has been 60% damaged, but you had no flooding, there's been a lot of these assessments and estimates coming through from our contractor that are not accurate. And so the problem is we are having to go back out and get these things corrected, which we are busy doing right now. You've probably heard that there's folks on Upton and Coronado and other parts of the city that have received these letters in error when they actually received very little, or in some cases no damage at all. So please don't panic when this happens, because we are going to correct it, but it's actually created a significant amount of extra work for our folks, for people like Clark and people like Justin and people like Michael Taylor, who are trying to get these things accomplished. But we are only as good as the data that we receive from these groups that we've been provided with. Part of this problem is that there are very few of these contractable inspectors available, because all of our beach communities, all our areas and flood zones are sharing the same resources. Additionally, much of this is funded by the state, but it is, again, city administrated, which is why I understand many people get these letters. It looks like it's on city letterhead, so it is from us, but this is based on information from these contractors. And these folks, they have very different levels of training. They don't live here. They do not work directly for the city. So there's definitely a difference in the accountability that we see from this, but it is the nature of the beast right now. This is who we have available to do this. And I know these folks are trying to do a good job, but in many cases, they've created a great deal of extra work. They've created a lot of headaches for our residents, and they've definitely created a lot of headaches for our city staff, who's having to go back and correct these things. So we are working on that. So when you get these letters from the city, know that these are coming from us based on data from our contractors, and much of this is having to end up being corrected on our end. So please bear that in mind. Also, when it comes to damage to your home, anything that you're doing, say if you got a minor damage permit ahead of time, your final damage appraisal needs to be comprehensive. So anything that you fixed ahead of time, for example, say you got your air conditioning and your water heater fixed on a minor damage permit, that still has to be included in your final total to restore your home to normal through that process. Again, if you have an appeal of this determination, if you get a determination and say you're a little bit over that 50-50 line, that appeal process, you can start that. It's right on the homepage at mygulfport.us. It is on the very first landing page that you get to, along with much other FEMA and permitting information. And additionally, I wanted to let you know that we should probably expect to see, if anyone's in the process of getting these inspections, it's likely not going to be 1 or 2 inspections. There's likely going to be confirmation inspections coming from, for example, us as the city, coming back behind our contracted inspectors that are here from the outside just for this damage. FEMA may send secondary inspectors, your insurance company. So you may end up with 3, 4, 5 inspections before this process is done. And it is the unwieldy nature of this problem that's causing so much frustration for people. I'd also like to let you know that we should probably expect in the near future that we're going to be seeing a lot less attention on the ground from FEMA and from some of these people, these national agencies, as you well know, not just dealing with our disasters here in Florida, but I expect to see a lot of these folks being mobilized to places like Los Angeles, California, which is our newest, latest, and greatest disaster across this country, and that agency deals with all of them, from fire to floods. So everybody try to hang in there. Let us know if you have questions. I do ask that you be kind to our folks that work for the city. When you get these letters, people see that letterhead from the city of Gulfport and immediately think that we're trying to do them wrong or trying to pull a fast one. We have no motive to do our people wrong. We would like to see everybody moving through this process as quickly as possible. But I will tell you, when we have people coming in contract positions, we don't know the level of training that these folks have on the ground. They definitely don't have the accountability to this community that our people have. And we end up cleaning up a lot of messes in scenarios like that, which is why it's so important that we remain an autonomous city and have this level of service. Our folks that work for us have a much higher level of accountability, and we're spending a great deal of time trying to get all of these things right and get people through this process the best we can. But it is hard. So I just ask you to bear in mind when dealing with our folks that no one's trying to get one over on you. We want to help you as best we can, but we are working within the constraints of the same rules that you are. Thank you very much. If you need any assistance, please call us at 727-893-1000, and please check out the resources that we have on mygulfport.us. Thank you, Gulfport. Take care.